live. When you come on, say hello and let me know from where you're watching. I'd love to know how far we are traveling today. Oops. Guess I better turn that volume down. Happy New Year, everyone. We did it. It's 2021. Let's just pray that it's going to be substantially better than 2020. I'll let a few people get on here before we get started. I hope you're having a great New Year's Day. I was sitting there last night with my husband, and we were just, watching TV, and I kept forgetting that it was New Year's Eve. And so we have some fun marbling things to do today. And hopefully my internet will hold. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Linda Anderson, owner of Aqueous Silk LLC. I do marbling on many different surfaces. Today we're going to be using some canvas hats and some cotton dog bandanas. I do marbling on glass, leather, just about any surface I can figure out how to get the paint to adhere to. I also do many other crafts. I knit, crochet, bead, cross stitch, sew, quilt. I do all the things. I love it all. It's so relaxing to do. I actually was earlier today working on my planner for 2021. I am custom binding it, and I have some beautiful fabric I marbled that I'm going to use to put a hardbound cover on it. So that's been fun. So okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Now the comments, I can't see any on the screen, but they will be on the computer behind me. I will check them, and if you have a question, please go ahead and leave it there, and I'll either answer it during the live or I'll go back. My hope is we can get to 100 people viewing today, and if that's the case, I will give away the second hat that I marbled today. So be sure to sprinkle this video to your friends, and let's see if we can get up to 100 viewers. So without further yakking, I will move the camera, so if that bothers you, go ahead and turn away. I'll put it on the work and we'll do the first hat. All right, here we go. I don't know if I can reach it from that angle. Get my arm out of the way. Okay, let me see and wait for my computer to catch up with me and see what that looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. So as always, we start with cleaning the surface of the water, just in case any I don't know, I'm outside or in the garage, so bugs could have gotten in here, or just little particles from the air. We want a nice fresh surface on the water. All right, so there it is, nice and clean. And I just hello, Jill. Welcome everyone. So if you've seen this before, you know this just is one drop at a time on the surface of the water. I generally like to start with white. Gotta put my sleeves back down. I'll have to pull them back up when I marble the hat, but it's a little chilly out here in the garage. I think it's only about 36 degrees. So now we'll add pretty bright pink. We might add some more of that. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of black. I'm just dropping this paint right on the surface, and you can see how it pushes the other colors out of the way, and it kind of makes the others more vibrant. So now we'll add a little bit of light pink. Okay, I think I will add just a touch more black. Now I cannot have just a big black blob, so can you see how that is being pushed back? The white and the pink are pushing back on that black. The paint colors will not blend while they're on the surface of the water. They just push against one another. My hands are already full of paint. I don't know how I do that so quickly. So the idea of my napkin here is to keep the paint on the napkin, but it doesn't work for very long for me. Oh, bubble. Almost out of this light pink. Let me add just, whoops. Let's see if anything pushes that back. See how big it grew when it first fell, and now it's being pushed right back into a smaller spot. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to move these colors all around. Which side do I like best? Yeah, I think I'm going to put the bill of the hat right over here and the rest of it back here. Oh, thank you, Jill. These are my favorite, one of my favorite color combinations. Okay, see, it's just a plain, simple white hat. Ooh, that water's cold. And there we go. One-of-a-kind custom hat. Again, if we can get this video shared out far enough and I can get 100 people on here today, the next one I do will be, I'll give it away. So there, whoops, you can't see it. Let me let some of the water drip off. I just put it right into a pail of just plain water, and there it is. All right, let me get this in a bag. What I'll do when I'm finished here is I'll rinse it again, and then I will hang it up to dry. I'll probably heat set it with my heat gun. I'm very, very careful, obviously, about using the heat gun. But see, I just pop it right in a plastic bag, and it'll stay there until I'm done. And then that'll be ready to go. I have a customer who's interested in a pink and black and white hat, so if she likes that, it'll be for her. If she doesn't like it, it will be up on my Etsy store. All right, so now I'm gonna clean this off, the excess paint, and then we're gonna move over and do the dog bandanas. So I wanna see if we can get enough people watching here. And I'll give that other one away. So let me get, ooh, it's chilly out here. Let me get some paper. I just use newsprint. Is everyone having a wonderful day today? Relaxing? Was anybody up too late last night? Partaking in some adult beverages? Well, our evening was pretty quiet, which was fine by me. I'll do that one more time just to make sure there's none of the pink left on the surface. Sometimes a little bit, when I submerge the hat, a little bit of the paint will go under the surface and stay there, but it will not impact what I'm doing. Okay, that piece came out nice and clean, so now that's ready. I'll probably clean it one more time before we do the other hat. So now I'm gonna switch the camera again, so look away if that bothers you. And I'll put it over onto the other tank. Now I can't see from where I am if that's a good photo. I'm waiting for the computer to catch up with me. So bear with me for a second. I can't believe how long that delay is. Oh, there it is. That looks pretty good. Sorry, just making sure my stand is secure. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing with this tank. I'm going to clear the surface, and then I will start laying down the paint for the first bandana. The bandanas are, I sewed them myself out of some cotton fabric, and I really believe it's easier for me to marble the fabric than marble the bandanas. But I really wanted some options when I am at an in-person show, assuming we ever get to do that again, in sizes of bandanas. When I buy them, they're only gigantic, and not everyone has a gigantic dog. My daughter has a miniature dachshund, and you know, she couldn't fold the big bandanas small enough to fit her. So let's see, it looks like I can fold this down just a little bit more, and maybe you can get more of the tank. You don't need to see my legs. So hold on, I'm going for a ride. All right, let me tighten it up. Sorry for the bumpiness. That's pretty good there. All right, so now Now I'm going to play with some new colors. I have some new paint that I'm kind of testing out. I've had it for a little bit, but I haven't been doing that much marbling lately. My day job is right now incredibly stressful, and by the time I get home, I'm just completely wiped out. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the bandana in, marble one side, I will pick it up and then put it down and marble the other side. So I'm going to put a strip of newsprint right here in the center, and that will, I'll do the same colors on both sides, but that will kind of keep, when I pull the bandana up out of the water, it'll kind of keep the paint in the side that it needs to be in and not let it start spreading out, because as soon as I pull the product out of the tank, the rest of the paint tries to fill in where the other paint had been. So, all right. So see, we've got kind of a little barrier. And I'm going to start, I think I'll start with this color this time. This is kind of a pretty blue. Kind of a, I want to call it a robin's egg blue. These are new paints, so we'll see what I think of these paints. I think I've tried it once before, and it was on a scarf that is cotton, no, excuse me, wool and silk. And I wasn't thrilled with the way it came out, but I also had not marbled a wool and silk combination before, so I'm not sure if it was that combination or if it was the new paint. So this is what we're determining today. So now I'm going to use a little bit of a soft gray. Well, I think I am. I bet I didn't open this one. Pop that bubble. All right. Let's see, did I open the others? That is the question. I always forget these bottles do not come open. All right. So annoying when I do that. All right, I'm gonna run in the house real quick. I know I have exactly where my little nails are, so I'll be right back. Okay, things that I've learned today. When your fingers are cold, it's hard to pick up little nails. All right, there's that one open. You would think after doing this so many times I would know to check these, but it totally just slipped my mind. All right, let's check this one. That one looks like it's open. Oops. Not this one. One more. I have a whole bunch of these in there. I should, after I'm done here, go in and open everything up. Okay, there we go. Now we can have some paint. Cap this one. Okay, now we're putting in the soft gray. Just still letting it drop to the surface of the water. All right. And this is called, this art form is Hebrew water marbling. It's done, or used to be, well it still is, done on paper. And you used to see it all the time in books on the end pages, right inside the hardback, those beautiful pages. But now we get to, I do it on paper as well, but we also get to do it on many other surfaces, and that just makes it so fun. Now we'll put in some of this blue. It's kind of a green, but whoops. You don't want to squeeze the bottle and, you know, make a stream of the paint into the tank. If you do a stream, it breaks the surface and then it will just sink, and we always want to use the surface of the water. Right, now I'm going to put in a little bit of this blue. This one feels a little bit thick. I do have to mix these to get the right consistency. Okay, so we'll see what this does. Again, this is kind of a test for me. Over here on this light blue, you can see how it's taking a while for that to spread out. There, that one just finished. That one just finished. If you watch this right here, you can see that dot in the middle will go away when it has completely dispersed across the surface. So I'm going to give it just a minute to let it do its thing. Because that light blue and I think this last blue that I put in, you can see the little dot in the center here. That's a bubble right there. So I will get these. This is a little cluster of bubbles right here. I'm going to try to break them up. This is a very challenging art form. It's so much fun, but it is challenging. So I think we're pretty good. All the light blue looks like it is dispersed quite well. So I'm just going to start moving the paint around. And it doesn't matter how you move it. There are definite traditional patterns for marbling. But it's yours, your piece of art, so you never need to be concerned about how it looks as long as you're pleased with it. All right, so now I'm going to do the other half, and I think I will kind of do something a little bit bigger, because you will be able to turn these bandanas over. I'll show you what they look like here in a second. But I'll leave a little bit bigger blocks of color on this side. That gray has a lot of brown in it. So here's the bandana. It has a nice big opening to slip over the collar right here. And then, you know, it's just cotton. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. And see how it turns out. Okay. So now I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to bring it over here and put it on the other side. It's a little bit more difficult to contend with when it's wet. This is why it's easier, I say it's easier to marble the flat piece There. So can you see right here? Are you able to see these little drip marks? When I was holding it up, the water from here was dripping, and that was pushing the paint out of the way. So there's going to be some places on the back of this that are a little bit void of paint. All right. So there's side 2. See, you can tell where the little drips were. And then this is the first side. If I can move it right in the camera, it's backwards for me. So there's bandana number 1. That paint seems to have done well. Let me rinse it. I'll get a bag ready. At least my rinse water is just a little bit warm. Warms my hands up just a bit. Yeah, side 2 is just, it's going to want to be the bottom side, definitely. All right. So now I'll just put it in the bag like I did the hat. Just in a Ziploc. And now we will do another. Now I could, if I wanted, you know, move the paint around again and do another with this colorway, but I want to go back to my normal paints until I have rinsed this one to see how I like the way it holds the paint. I'm not going to do any more pieces with this. I have lots more colors, but I want to make sure I am creating a quality product. So that will be my sample. Hey Angela, how are you? Yes, these are acrylic paints, plural. They do have to be appropriately mixed for marbling. Again, Happy New Year, everyone. I thought this would be a perfect way to start the new year. I'm still hoping that I can give away that other hat. So make sure you sprinkle this to anyone you think may be interested in watching. So I have all different sizes of bandanas that I'm going to be using. The one I just did was the biggest that I have made at this point. It is quite large. I don't have the dimensions with me. I should have taken the measurements. See how it pulls that design right off? Want to make sure the surface is very clean before I start the next one. I can still see. I'm going to need to do this again. Now the water that I'm using had a blue tint to it already. I've used it before. When you marble, you can use the water more than once. And so it had been used before, and the primary, colors that you use, it'll start coloring the water. It doesn't hurt anything at all. So now, let's see, what do we want to see? Do we want to see a purple one? I'm not a huge purple fan, but a lot of people are, so. Oh, let's do a purple and some soft yellow. How about that? Let me see if you guys have any wonderful suggestions. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate that. to do. So if you have a color preference, let me know. Of course, I think they all need to be pink or red, because those are my favorites. But I know that's not the case with everybody else. So again, I'm just going to put up my little barricade. Oh, my hands are cold and it's hard to grab the piece of paper and separate it. Okay. So you know what I think I'll do? I think I'll do the base in yellow this time. This is kind of a soft yellow. And this is not my new paints. These are my standard paints. I'm almost out. I need to mix more. I used to be so good at keeping all my paints mixed and all that. And then this year happened. And I kind of just went, well, I'm not doing any shows, because that's my favorite, is taking my tanks and my items to art shows and allowing the public to experience marbling. Of course, I love making all kinds of things and putting them in my Etsy shop as well, but the interaction with the public and listening to people, you know, understand the magic of what we're doing. It's just so much fun. So now this is a deep purple. And when you're in person and you're watching this, I don't know that you can see it on the live video, but sometimes when you drop a drop of paint, you'll see, like this one here, a little speck rolled across the top and then stopped right here. And these little specks that you see all did that. They just kind of roll across the water. It's fun to see, and you wouldn't think that would be possible. I know when I'm turning these bandanas over from one side to the other, if I had a second set of hands here with me, it would be much easier for me to do that. And now I've lost my skewer. Where the heck did, oh, here it is. I'm always putting them down somewhere. And again, just moving the paint any way I want it to go. I'll try to be a little more careful when I'm moving it from side to side this time and not dribble any water or size onto the clean side. This is my favorite part. Moving the paint is so much fun. All right. So I'll do one that's a little bit smaller this time. I have some itty tiny ones. And then this is the next size. And this one's small enough that I can pick the spot that I like. Carefully make sure this makes good contact. And there's the second side. into the rinse bucket. Okay, now I'm realizing as I'm doing this, side 2 is not printing as well. If any of the moisture reaches the front, when I put it down, or the side opposite that goes down first, if any of that moisture touches the back, it's not going to take the color as much. So let me pull this out. And you can kind of see here where it didn't take the paint very well, and I think that's because some of the, because this was the first side, took it beautifully, but this side, I think some of this was damp, so it didn't take as well. See, I'm learning, right? With every time I try something new, I learn. So it's like I almost have to do the fabric and then stitch the bandanas to get it pretty on both sides. Now, let me get this open, get the bandana out. And there's no way, it's all enclosed, so there's no way for me to put a barrier in there. I just wanted some options for my customers when I'm somewhere, but that at least gives them some color on the back side. They can always put the pretty side out. Purple, yellow, and green. Okay, Samantha, I can do that. Green. I have the purple, and here's the bright yellow. Nope, that's the wrong bright yellow. Here's the bright yellow. I have different brands of paints, and they generally don't play well together in my experience. So, trying to keep them all separated. Now, again, I'm going to clean this out. I want to make sure the paper touches completely just like I do the cloth, so it pulls out any of the remaining paint. Okay, I'll get that little strip. I see a little bit of that purple left. I know we're putting purple back in, but I just like to start with a nice clean surface. Yep, that's under the surface right there. There's a bubble. Okay. Oh, cold hands. And this one I'm going to start, whoops, I better make my barrier. Okay, we're going to start with the green. This green is probably a very powerful, well, sometimes it can be very powerful. likes to shove other colors around. That's another fun thing about this. In different temperatures, different humidity, it impacts your art and what the paint does. So you never quite know what you're going to get. You don't know how it's going to behave. And that gives you the challenge of then compensating for whatever the paint happens to be doing. There is a thickener in the water, and that is also a plus, because when it's cold, it's a plus because it keeps the water a little thicker, able to support the paint a little better. Now, can you see there's a little line of yellow right there that I didn't get out of the tank? The other paint just pushed it right there. And that's a different color yellow than what I'm going to be using, so I want to try to pull that out. It doesn't want to come. There we go. There, I got most of it. So again, it's a very challenging art form. Oh. So the green's down. Now we're putting the yellow in. I wish I could do metallics. Metallics do not work well on fabrics. So every time I marble, I wish I could do metallics. I want to add a little bit more green and some of this purple. Again, you can drop the colors one right on the other and they will not blend together. Oh, my hands are getting cold. The more paint you have on the surface, the more vibrant your colors become. Yep. Now look at that yellow. It says, hallelujah, I'm pushing everybody out of the way. Oh, it's so nice to have this extra day off today. I keep thinking it's Saturday. I see a little bubble here. There we go. Bubbles, if you leave them in and then you place your cloth on the surface, it will pop and there'll be a void right there where the bubble was. Let's see. I know I've had trouble with the back sides, but there's not, I was going to do something fun, but there's not really a good spot for that in the way I drop the paint. I think I will do the large one. So again, this is just where the collar goes through. See, now you can see this side getting wet. So that's every place it's wet, it's not going to take the color. So that's exactly what I thought was happening. fold this way. Work with me, bandana, work with me. Yeah. So there's definitely a front and a back to these when I do them this way. Not exactly what I wanted to happen. I was hoping to get a nicer print on the back side, but that's okay. The one on the front is just fine. Oh, my hands are cold. All right. Let's get this one out of the rinse bucket. And then I have some little ones to do. Any other color recommendations? All right. I should have brought out the smaller baggies. Oh, I'm just gonna put my hands in this warm rinse water for a second. Purple. I've never been a big purple fan. It always surprises me when I'm asking and people say purple, purple, because I'm a pink and red girl. Always have been. Always loved it. And that's fun. My sister-in-law is a big purple fan. I made her a purple and black buffalo plaid glitter tumbler for her birthday. It looked pretty cool, actually. There. I got smart. Instead of laying 2 pieces down, I did just 1. Now I'll still get a strip for that. Red, black, and white. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, I could do red, white, and blue. I don't have that perfect blue. Red, black, and white was my high school colors, and that's still one of my favorites. All right, one more time. Definitely want to make sure all of the purple is out. All right, dry my hands, get our barrier in there. And when I place the first side down, I'm kind of thinking out loud here, guys. I want to make sure it is making good contact with the surface of the water, because that's what pulls the design. And that's where, if I set it there for long enough, that's when it starts seeping through to the other side. So there should be some magic in between time that I can print the first side, get it picked up, but still where they're touching, even as I'm moving it, could... Yeah, I don't know. This just may not work the way I want it to work. I marbled a wine carafe. I had a special request for a Christmas gift, and they asked me if I could do a carafe, and I said, I think so, but I wasn't sure. And I knew how I wanted to do it, because I wanted to do, because, you know, they're longer. I wanted to do it from the top down, but you can't hold it. And so I was devising all these ways to hold the carafe and put it, you know, top down, and it never did work. I dropped that sucker 2-3 times in the container, in the tank that I was using. Finally, I think on the 4th time, I just did it bottom up, and it turned out fine. Okay, so we are going to do red, black, and white. Okay, I'm going to put red in first. That looks like the orange red. There it is. I almost used the wrong color. Let's see if there's any. All right, we're still trying to get the views up there, or the number of viewers, so I can give away a hat. So sprinkle, sprinkle. Invite your friends to come and watch the fun. See, I'm going to start with red here. Red, I find, needs to be pushed a lot to get it to not look pink. So when I used red, unless it's just they want just a tiny bit, I usually start with it. Or you can use it like second, but as long as you have something that's going to push hard on it after your... I know that sounds weird on the water, but each color has its own property, and so they behave a little different. Ooh, I should do a red and like a teal. Red, teal, and white would be pretty. All right, now we'll put in some black. Now, if you watch that, see how the red is becoming much more red now that it's getting pushed on a little bit? All right, now I'm going to put a little bit of white on it to push it just a little bit more. I know in these little spaces where you don't see any red or any black, it kind of looks blue. That is where the bandana itself would show through. But I want to make sure the red looks red and the black looks black, not gray. And I'm still not liking the amount of. It's funny that white, it has a blue cast to it on the water because the water is blue. How strong that black is. When I do this in the summertime and it's hot out, the water in the tank is a lot more liquidy, and sometimes the paints don't want to float as nicely, and it's so fun. Oh, I really like the way that side looks. I don't really know if it matters what I do to this side because it won't take very well anyway. All right. Do another, see, I have itty tiny ones. See how tiny this one is? Just itty tiny. This is the smaller one. I didn't take measurements. Hi, Tesha. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, so I'm gonna just, whoops, I was gonna use the bigger one. I'm gonna just put this down here. There it took the design. Yeah, the edges I didn't leave it quite enough time for the edges to take very well. And now you can see where it's getting wet on the back. Yeah, this just doesn't work very well doing it two-sided. But this was kind of my test run, because see on the back it didn't take nearly as well because the fabric was already wet. All right. So you know what that tells me is I should, I could leave the backs just solid white, which for a dog may or may not be a good idea. Or I could do like a coordinating fabric, but then what if the front is, they want something different? Oh, I've got to figure this out. Got to figure it out. Unless at the top of it, I didn't make it two-sided, I just made it one-sided and made a cuff for the collar. Maybe that's what I'll do. And that'll take less fabric as well. So any other color recommendations? Let's see, I was going to try red and teal, wasn't I? All right, I'm going to do one more bandana. Oh, here I tore the paper in half again. Why did I do that? And then I will marble the other hats, so there's not, I only see 2 viewers or 3 viewers, and I know one of those is me on my computer, so come on, let's get it going so we can give that hat away. I'd love to be able to do that. Love it, love it. Ooh, I am cold. So one more bandana and then we are definitely, I'll do the hat and be done. I'm getting too cold. So this is, if you're just joining, this is Ebru water marbling. We're floating acrylic paint on the surface of the water. And I've been working with hats today and dog bandanas. I ordinarily will go to art shows all over the place. I've been in New Orleans and Illinois, all around Idaho. That's where I am. And into Washington until COVID shut us all down. So now I do have an Etsy store. I have wine glasses up there. I have my kits. If you're interested to learn how to do this yourself, I do have try it kits. It gives you everything you need and the instructions. And the name of the business is the same as it's on my Facebook, Aqueous Silk LLC. All right, I want the teal. Whoops, that's not the right one. So I have a light teal and a dark teal. Again, I'm going to start with red. And I'm just going to, I think I'll just barricade off. I'm just going to do, I'll just put this here, just kind of keep it right here. I'm only going to do one side because that seems to only work nicely on one side. I should, I guess, get another piece. these are always fun to do. I have some fun blue ones, but I want to do this. This is going to look fun. See, the paint is even pushing the newsprint out of the way. I'm going to have to get another piece. Watch that, just push it right out of the way. Okay, I'm going to just shove that and see how that, just pushing it back up there made that much brighter. All right, there's the red. Now I'm going to do a little bit of light. Well, I better do the dark. Teal is known to be very strong. Each paint will also come out of the bottle at a different rate. So you just get used to the way one color is behaving, and then you use the other paint and it surprises you like this one just did. So I have the red, I have a dark teal, and then the light teal. And I'm just gonna I'm going to leave that in there. I'm not going to swirl around that. Okay. See how I can get that one. I'll do one of the bigger ones. So I'm going to put it right see how that's taking the color. I'm just going to let this one sit here and make sure look at the way it's repelling the paint out of that area. I'm going to make sure, wait until it's all saturated, top and bottom. Because if any of the paint from the front were to come back up through this, I would love it, but it's not going to. So there it is. That one turned out really cute. See the little heart on it in the light teal? All right, into the rinse bucket. So I need to re-engineer my pattern a little bit, so I'm not wasting the back fabric. But yet I can have a variety of sizes of bandanas, because my other ones, the ones I was buying, was literally a half of this tank. And there's so many dogs that would just be overwhelmingly large for. And I was trying to come up with a different idea. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to move you once more, and I'll do the other hat. Let me move some of my paints out of the way here. to work so I don't end up knocking all the paint off of the table. I have a very colorful garage floor. All right. So let me clean the surface. Whoops, let me get you moved over here. Hold on if this bothers you. Let me see how I did. Not quite there yet. That's pretty good. I'll wait until the camera catches up or the computer catches up and I can see if you can see it or not. Hi, Colleen. How are you? Colleen has had the pleasure of experiencing this firsthand. She made a beautiful, beautiful item, so. All right, let me just, I'm again cleaning that surface off. And let's see. Just gonna drop this onto the surface. Again, the more paint, the more vivid your colors will be. Everyone has a hard time with that. They're worried they're putting too much paint in. And as long as you're not pouring it or squirting it in, you are good. I know this is a bright blue. This is the one I'm going to use now is called Indigo. Now let's put some gray in. Okay. Yeah, it has been a while. Okay. Look at my hands. Just such a mess. All right, here we go. Now there's always one end or the other that I like better, and that's how I determine which to put the front of the hat. And I want to make sure there's no paint on my hands when I grab the hat either to put it in. All right, I am kind of thinking, see if you agree with me, that I want the front to go kind of right here in this corner. I like this swirl, but I also like that, so I don't know. What do you think? Anyone have an opinion? Should I do it on this end that's closer to the camera or the one that's away from? You may not be able to see all the way up in here. All right, so I'm going to do it this way. That's so cold. water feels so warm. All right, guys. I'm gonna move you up. Drying off my hands here. Excuse the messy garage you're about to see. But thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you following my page and supporting my work, whether it's just through likes or hearts or watching my lives. It all matters to me. Thank you so much. And let's look forward to a fantastic 2021. Let's get out there and enjoy life again. So have a wonderful day. I hope to see you live soon. It takes a lot for me to put this up, and when it's winter, I never want to come out into the cold. So I hope to see you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.